All right, we are live, and unfortunately, we're back for the last segment of the Mid Morning Talk Women's Month edition, right here on Salam Media with myself, Umamah Lu. The past three segments of this whole Women Who Heal and Nurture has been absolutely amazing. I really, really loved it. We started with the Palestine event that's happening in Zanin. And then we moved on to Crystal, who told us about her entire empire that she's building with Crystal Touch. And then we just ended our conversation with the darling Yasmin from Salwa Collective, who told us about all things Salwa, what Salwa means to her and all of that. You gotta go watch it to know. And now we are at the end, and there's we start everything in the name of Allah and we end everything in the name of Allah. And there's something we should all know, right? And so I felt there's no other way than to end my time on the show than with Islam, with Islamic knowledge, with an Islamic topic. And today on Women Who Heal, we're joined by someone who is truly dedicated to uplifting the Ummah through knowledge. She is a qualified Alimah who completed an intensive 5-year course in Islamic studies and now spends her days doing exactly what she loves: teaching. Not only does she teach on site, but she also reaches students far and wide through online classes. One of the key places she teaches is Bayt Dardaa, an online Islamic ladies institute that's all about making sacred knowledge accessible to women from all walks of life. We're going to be talking about something that's become a real challenge in our time: the youth's reluctance to attending madrasa, and explore how we can break the stigma that's often attached to it. So, to my darling BFF bestie of Uminah Josè, it is so lovely to have you with us today. Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. I'm so happy to be here, Umama.
Jazakallah so much for joining me. I know that you're not well and it was last minute and everything, but nevertheless, you have joined me, and I'm so, so happy and so grateful to have you on. We're going to jump right into questions, okay? Um, my first question to you is all about breaking the stigma, as I've said. So, why do you think so many young people today don't want to go to madrasa?
Um, that is actually such an amazing question because honestly, I think that a big part of it is that some children really associate madrasa with the strictness or punishment or like long hours or just boring lessons, which is not really the case. And they don't really have a positive understanding of what it is to be to be knowledgeable in their deen, to be knowledgeable in their deen. And also we see that they don't really see that beauty in learning Quran Sharif, right? And deen, because it's not really presented to them in a way that really excites their hearts. And we see that in this day and age, there's so many distractions. We have social media, we have that entertainment. So then Islamic studies is just like put back, right? But I also think that the core isn't is it's not that they don't really want to learn about Allah Ta'ala or they don't want to learn about the Quran. I think it's just that they haven't really experienced it in a way that really will capture their heart, or like, in the way that like they
Umina, are you there?
gee, I'm still here.
Okay, okay. I think you got cut off for a second there, but I heard the majority of your answer, so it's all right. Um, and I completely agree with you on what you've said, that it is so, so hard for the youth to be inclined to Islamic knowledge when they don't have the access to the beauty of it, and they don't have at their fingertips enough resources. Yes, there are so many resources online, but it's more so the Dawa bros. That's not going to get you to come to madrasa. You need that beauty and that pureness of Islamic knowledge to come through and to captivate their hearts, to get them to want to come to madrasa and to want them to, continue learning the deen of Allah. Um, going on with this thing of breaking the stigma, we often hear parents say, if you misbehave, I'm sending you to madrasa. How does this mindset affect the way children view Islamic learning?
On this topic, it really affects the kids very, very negatively. Because what do we go to madrasa for? We go to madrasa to learn about Islam. We go to madrasa to learn about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Sahaba and the Quran. And we know that Islam is the religion of peace, it's the religion of love. So now when you're going to try to like threaten the kids or try to like discipline the kids by saying you're going to go to madrasa, it's basically putting Islamic learning or in a very negative light, right? So like we say, uh we see with the older generations, right? They didn't know any better, so they always have this thing of, oh, if you do this, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is going to punish you, or if you do this, I'm sending you to madrasa, or basically just putting it in a very negative light, instead of saying to the kids that, you know what, Allah Ta'ala is most merciful. Yes, what you've done is wrong, but Allah Ta'ala is the most merciful. Allah Ta'ala will forgive you. We have to think good thoughts of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, right? So it should be presented.
Uminah?
Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. You keep getting cut off. I'm so sorry. Could you just repeat the last part for us?
I was saying that if we use this as a punishment, right, children will start to link deen with negativity, which is the complete opposite of how what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has taught us.
Exactly, exactly. And I completely, agree with that. Excuse me. Because wherever you link anything to bad, they're not gonna want, and no one, even an adult, not gonna want to go to something that is portrayed as bad, And over the years, Islam has, been seen as something so scary, that Mulanas are going to hit you if you go to madrasa. You go to madrasa, they're going to discipline you like your life depends on it. And that's not what it's about. And when you finally get that sakina and that tranquility from learning the deen of Allah, it becomes such a different story to what you're used of hearing. But now, if a kid is going to madrasa knowing that, okay, I'm just going to come here because my parents wanted me to come because they think it's going to discipline me, they're never going to find, okay, I can't say they're never going to, but it's going to be so hard for them to find that tranquility that I'm speaking about because their hearts are not open to it. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say here, Um, and with your answer, it ties me into my next question, which is how do you think we can change this perception so that madrasa becomes a place kids want to be?
Okay, first of all, it actually starts with the parents. It actually the parents and the teacher have to work together, like to approach this, right? Parents need to speak about madrasa as a privilege. They shouldn't be speaking about it as a chore or as some type of a punishment. So instead of saying just go to madrasa, what you can say is that you get to learn about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala today, right? Also, you need to be able to say to them, like, go to madrasa, you learn about a new story about a prophet, or you learn about Allah Ta'ala's qualities, the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And also teachers, on our side, what we have to do is try to create an environment where kids feel that safety, they feel encouraged, they get excited to learn. Like, we do these stories with them, these group discussions, creative projects. And like, for example, if we're talking about teenagers and stuff, being able to connect deeply, heart to heart, with the lessons of their daily lives, right? So we can make a place, madrasa, a place where like the students feel valued, the students feel loved, and also parents.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. They always say that it's, number one, knowledge is from the cradle to the grave, right? And when you say from the cradle, it means it starts at home. It starts from when you're a little baby, and you need that foundation from the parents. And I want to touch on a different topic that I know that you are a maktab teacher to little kids as well, right? And you mentioned that it's also the job of the teachers. So, how are you instilling that into your students from such a young age that learning Islam is good, especially in an underdeveloped area? How are you making it your duty to make sure that these kids love Islam and that they want to continue to learn Islamic knowledge?
So basically, when kids are young, right, your heart and your mind are so open. You're young, and your heart is open. You take in whatever you learn very easily. Like it just comes in very easily, And like teaching in these underdeveloped areas, you learn about different situations of different students, and you see different households, different backgrounds. So when and some children don't really come are not really privileged to have so much of safety, or like a very warm environment, especially in these areas. So at least for that 1 hour that they do come to madrasa, I try to make it is warm and welcoming for them. Try to make it that part of the day which cheers them up. Just to try to change something inside of them.
No, exactly. And again, I'm going to keep just saying I love the answers that you're giving because they're exactly what we want to hear. They're exactly the change that we need. And, like you've said, that not everyone has the same advantage that we had growing up. Growing up in a Muslim household, from the time you're born, you're hearing the adhan around your house. Allah has been spoken about in the house. Wearing hijab is a norm, fasting is a norm, reading salah is a norm. Some people don't have that. Madrasa is the only place where they can find their people. Madrasa is the only place where they can learn about Islam properly. um you know and that's why madrasa has to be a safe haven for these kids. It can't be that I'm scared to go to madrasa because I'm gonna go and get beaten up there. Guys, that's not right. How are we gonna give this love for iman, this love for deen, if we are already putting a stigma to it that at madrasa you're gonna get hit, at madrasa it's an angry, hostile environment. So I think as a people, as this new generation, the new generation of teachers, the new generation of students, that we need to work together, to make we need to make work together so that the future generations continue to learn Islam and continue to love doing all things Islam and not be mad at it, not be scared at it, not have religious trauma. That's a whole different topic to get into. But I will stop with what I have to say right now so we can go in a quick little break. And when we come back, we will continue our conversation with all things Islamic knowledge.
Investment and advisory services from an award-winning firm? Look no further than the Belmont Mayer Group, your gateway to unparalleled investment and wealth management. At Belmont Mayer, we believe in the art of wealth creation, a meticulous process fueled by our unwavering commitment to excellence. With a focus on providing elite alternative investments and quality advice, we also pride ourselves on maximizing value for our esteemed investors as seen through our consistent outperformance. Your financial success is our top priority. Join us at Belmont Mayer and experience the difference firsthand. Ready to embark on a journey of greatness? Contact us today. Reach out to the Belmont Mayer Group on 078 786 1698. Call or WhatsApp or email us at info@belmontmayer.com. Elevate your financial future with Belmont Mayer, where every detail matters.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042 203 1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
World-class financial services only at Sapphire Global, your financial partner. If you are looking for Islamic Sharia and ethical financial products, look no further. Sapphire Global offers a wide range of financial service offerings from short-term to life and investments. a full-service center with all financial requirements under one brand. Our highly skilled and experienced consultants are ready to help protect your financial future. Contact us on 041 001 0184 or visit our website on www.sapphireglobalfs.com. Sapphire Global is an authorized financial services provider.
Make a conscious choice. Sip for change and support Palestine Drinks Africa. With every can, you help end the genocide and stand in solidarity with Palestine. Choose between our original or sugar-free options available in a case of 24. Every sip is a step towards justice. Every purchase a powerful message of unity and support for the Palestinian cause. Contact 082 888 1440 or 082 7739 556 today and be part of the change. Palestine Drinks Africa. Sip for change. Liberty for everyone.
It's a new beginning. It's a new era. Salam Media, humanitarian journalism.
All right, we are back from our break and on to the last and final stretch of the show, Mid Morning Talk, Women's Month edition. The time is now 49 minutes past 12 o'clock, and I am in conversation with Uminah Josè, who's been telling us about Islamic knowledge, the stigma behind the youth going to madrasa, and how we can make that change. Now, I want to take a different route in this last part and talk more about the madrasa that you teach at, that we said in your introduction, right? So I do know that you are at Madrassah Bayt Dardaa Online Islamic Institute for Ladies. Can you tell us more about Bayt Dardaa and the vision behind it?
So basically, Beit Dardaa is an amazing institution founded by our amazing Abba Hasina Ali. Most of y'all do know Abba Hasina. So it's basically for women, where we have women from all walks of life. So our approach is that young and old can also benefit from it. And alhamdulillah, they really, really do enjoy our classes, right? We have students as young as 16, and our oldest is about 73 years old, alhamdulillah. And we also have reverts, we have born Muslims, and we actually have also alimas who also it is like a refresher for them. So everyone is welcome. Just come as you are. Um, yeah. So we try to cater for all levels from beginners like to those who've studied before uh, because everyone should be able to have a chance to grow in their Islamic knowledge.
Exactly. You know, for those of you who do know Beit Dardaa, or Bud as they call it is a safe haven, like I've been speaking about. It's a safe haven for all girls, adults, grannies, everyone. Like Uminah has mentioned that we have from 16 to 73. Now, I say we because it is family things. Yes, we're doing nepotism on the show. And I absolutely applaud what Abhasina, my mommy, is doing with Beit Dardaa, because it's hard for some people, especially the working class, to still have a chance to learn. So that's why classes are like late at night, as I've known, and things like that. And I'm not going to get into too much. I'll let Umina tell us about it. But I love what it stands for. You know, the name Beit Dardaa, the work that Beit Dardaa does is so incredible because, again, it's online, it's accessible, there's recordings, you can do anything that you want and still learn your Islamic knowledge. And so, with that being said, Appa, can you please tell us what kind of courses or classes does Beit Dardaa offer for women?
So basically, alhamdulillah, there's a variety of classes that we do offer. We have a Qa'id, we have fiqh, tafsir, sirah, and Quran. So it's every day from, not every day, I mean from Monday to Thursday evenings from 7:30 to 8:30. And we have Quran in the mornings also. And with that, I love the fact that it's an accessible time. Like everybody is, what is this word? Everybody is available at that time also. And so we try to cater for everyone, so everybody can come to madrasa. And also We are just here to be able to spread knowledge to every single person. And Alhamdulillah, we do have a big amount of students at the moment, but we would love to expand the amount of students that do come to our madrasa, inshallah. So even if you want to join Bayt Dardaa, it's very, very simple. What you can do is visit our website, I mean, our social media. We have an Instagram page, which is
Papa Uminah, are you there?
can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Uh, I was saying that you can contact our admin on WhatsApp. The number is 073-332-3472. And also our Instagram page, bayt.darda. So it's B-A-Y-T dot D-A-R-D-A-A.
Okay, guys, you heard. You need to follow Bait Darda, and you need to get in touch, inshallah. Another thing that I will bring forward is that, inshallah, in November we'll be having our Jalsa, and the Jalsa is not a graduation, rather, and it's not just for students. It's for you guys to come to see what Bait Darda is all about, and on our social medias you will be able to get more information about that very, very soon. Um, I don't think there's much that I can say, much that Umina can say. Video that's just nice, guys. It's nice there. Just come, right? Before we close off in a couple minutes, I want to just move on to encouraging more youth to learn. Now, I know that you began learning at a very, very young age, and you're young and still, and you're teaching now and all of that. So, from your experiences, what would you tell a young girl who's listening right now and who's unsure about joining Madrassah? What would you say to her?
Okay, from my point of view and what I've experienced, I would say that don't feel intimidated to join madrasa, right? Don't think it's boring. It might seem that way from the outside. Just give it a chance. You might be surprised by how much you'll really, really enjoy it. Madrasa is such a beautiful experience. Every single day out of madrasa, even though it's not been a while, it's not been so long that I've been out of madrasa, I still yearn to be able to listen to Qala Allah and Qala Rasul every single day. And also, learning deen isn't just about the rules, right? It's about understanding who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, why you are here, how proud you'll be inshallah when you stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? It's something that will stay with you at every stage of your life, even in the moments when you feel lost. When you have the deen knowledge, then inshallah you'll be guided back towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also in certain situations you'll know that this is just a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let me make sabr. In certain situations you'll know that it's time for me to make shukr. you know
No, totally, totally, totally agree with you on that. And the fact that there is so much community in it. You never realize, like, your classmates that you make in madrasa and your friends that you make in madrasa will be the friends for the rest of your life. I mean, it's a thing. And I'm not just saying it's actually a thing that the friends that you make in the path of Allah are the friends that will be with you. You know what I mean? In this life and in the year after. So, I would say again that it may seem intimidating. It is hard. I'm not going to say it's not hard, but it's hard like how everything is hard. So take that step, try, and inshallah, this could be that opening that you need. And I hope that Abu Umina and myself have been able to open your minds even just a tiny little bit, that you want to go to madrasa now, whether it's starting with going to maktab, going to Bayt Darda, or going to a proper adult ulum. It's so accessible in South Africa. There's so many places for a young girl to go and learn the deen of Allah. And with that, like, we've come to the end of the show. We've only got a couple minutes left, and I want to just ask you, as we wrap up, that this is a Women's Month show. It's Women's Month. We're talking about young girls in madrasa. Everything is wrapped around women. And so I want to ask you, what's one word you have for the women of South Africa, for the Muslim women in South Africa, with regards to Islam, with regards to knowledge? What's one thing you'd want to tell them in this Women's Month?
I would tell them that learning deen has always been it's our priority. We have to try to learn deen as much as, because we see that they've been the scholars are not only males, we also have a lot of female scholars like Dardaa. Like we see, look at the name, she was such an inspiring figure, and she was a respected female scholar. Like, you know, she was the time of the tabi'in. Her house was even she used to teach people in her house, right? In the mosque of Damascus also, people came for wisdom from her. So it doesn't mean because you're female you can't seek knowledge, or you can't, you just have to be, you have to try to seek knowledge also, right? And we have to remind ourselves that women seek knowledge. It's always been a way that women seek knowledge, right? It's always been in Islam that women had to seek knowledge, and it's always for the better, inshallah.
Inshallah, inshallah. I hope everybody heard what Abu Uminah had to say, and everyone takes what she said to heart, honestly. That be like these women. Be like like be like Dardaa radiallahu anha. Be like Khadija radiallahu anha. Be like Aisha radiallahu anha. You know, be like these women who created such an impact in the world today, not just in this ummah, but in the world today. And the way we look at things, you know, the first university, a woman. You know, we mentioned this yesterday as well. Like, women have played such a huge role in where we are today, and that's all with knowledge. It's with having knowledge. And yes, have secular knowledge, but have Islamic knowledge too, because you won't realize how much just learning that, even just learning Quran, just learning that can, you know, it changes your whole, the way you look at your entire life. It changes everything about it. And those will be my final words, that learn, learn, and learn more. As the women of the future, you know, we are going to be, you know, leading the future, and we're leading it from now as the youth, that we need to have knowledge, Islamic, secular, all kinds of knowledge. And oh my God, I'm sad now. I'm trying to like talk to not think about it. But we have reached the end of the segment, the end of the show, and the end of my time with you right here on Salam Media. It has been such an amazing time with you guys, with my guests. We've spoken about everything over the past 3 days, and oh man, I'm so happy. I love talking to you guys. I love interviewing people, and talking about women in Women's Month has been absolutely amazing. So a huge, huge thank you to my guest today, to Abu Uminah, for joining me in this conversation. A big thank you to Salam Media. A big thank you to the viewers, to the listeners, for sitting here with me and listening to me talk for 2 whole hours. I truly appreciate it, and I love talking to you guys, and I hope that soon, inshallah, we'll be reunited, and we'll talk again and everything, and that we continue this women empowerment, not just in South Africa but all around the world. And so with that, ma salama, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.